Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Traders Brawl Podcast. I'm Adel, the host, and today I have a super special guest with me, J RYAKO, who I met at a networking event. We're about to get into that in a second. But for those who are new, thank you for joining us. For those who have been with us already, thank you for staying with us. We are a social media marketing agency. We are here to educate. We're here to learn from new entrepreneurs who are building and to learn from their entrepreneurial roots and their journey of how they got to where they got. Jay has 4 million followers on Instagram. He is a music artist and he invests in crypto. So right down our alley on the entrepreneurial journey and route. So with that said, Jay, how are you doing today?
Phenomenal. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it, man.
We met at a networking event, one of those just random networking events.
Right.
And from there, I took your contact and then I was like, let's do a podcast, and here we are.
Absolutely. I was like, what better podcast to do? You know what I mean?
It's crazy, Dubai. So we invite new guests every week, and every new guest shares a different perspective because they have a different, unique journey, entrepreneurial journey. I really want to get into your story. You have 4 million followers. You are an artist. I've seen some of your videos, really amazing stuff. You invest in crypto. How did you come to Dubai? Maybe you want to start there.
Well, I was born at a very young age, graduated top of my class in kindergarten, moved on to grade school and didn't do so well. Okay, realized that you don't have to be smart to make a lot of money. You just have to be at the right time with the right people.
This is in the US, by the way.
Yeah, this is
in the US. Which state?
This is in the US. I was born and raised in Florida.
Florida.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like palm trees. I like beaches, banks, bays, beaches. You know.
I know.
But yeah, it wasn't until recently. I mean, about 7 weeks ago that I came to Dubai, and it was more so just for a business trip. And I've been coming back and forth to Dubai since 2021. I realized it was a great idea to get residency in different places and really escape the matrix the right way. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people try to do it and stay in one location, but I think the only way to really do it is to have different tax havens around the world, different incomes around the world, different bank accounts, multi-currency accounts, different KYCs, and really set yourself up in all these different places as decentralized as possible.
And it comes back to not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Right? Be diversified.
Yeah, and they say don't spread yourself thin until you have a certain point to diversify. Like it's like you're trying to get to 50 grand a month in one thing. You haven't hit the 50 grand a month yet, but you're trying to do 10 other things. You're never probably going to make that 50K a month in that one thing. So it's like don't diversify too early, but when it gets to a point where you're being taxed, tracked, watched, and all sorts of other things, then it's probably a great idea.
So that's a great way to segue into maybe your story, because you have a very interesting story. As you already know, I do my research on all my guests before they come. And there was this video that I saw. Are you okay for me to mention it?
Yeah.
There's this video on Instagram that I saw. Maybe you know it better than I do. It surfaced and it was a video. I couldn't see your face, but it was of you. And in that video, it looked like the police were trying to attack you in your car.
Right. Yeah. So we had gotten pulled over, and nobody really explained as per why we were getting pulled over. It was just boom, we get pulled over. 14 officers surround us at gunpoint. From 1 second to the next second, everybody was panicking, and guns were already drawn. Guns were held to the car. They started banging the windows with the guns, and we were like, "Hey, what's the emergency? How can we help you guys? What's the issue?" We actually had turned into my building, so this was at the bottom of my condo, literally in my building,
so
in
your parking garage,
and I'm surrounded by officers, basically in my house. And then from one moment to the next, it's just get the fuck out of the car, and then guns to all of our faces through the windows. Boom, crowbar to the windshield, rips the window out. Everybody's dragged out of the car. We're on our knees, hands on our head like we're terrorists. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not damaging anybody's property. I'm not out here being a criminal. I'm not a terrorist, okay? I'm not out here scamming people or anything of that nature. I've actually been retired for the past 2.5 years.
Amazing.
So it was very shocking, and it was very dramatic of a situation, and it was just like, hey, we were treated very poorly. The news was there. It was like a whole setup. kind of like to make me look like the bad guy. And yeah, the video got out and they announced all sorts of things. Hey, that we're this sovereign citizen group, or we're anti-government, or all of this stuff. And not true. I mean, I love America. I love my country. I mean, I've been there for the past 20-something plus years, and you know, I've done nothing but help people in that country and fight for the country and make sure that laws are not broken, they're followed, and especially by our officers, right? You know, those are the people that should be following the law the most. And I think that they didn't really like, you know, us escaping the Matrix. And I don't really know the exact reason as per what was happening. I think that was a good example for them to try and make something of it.
Did you hire a lawyer? Did you go down the court cases? Did you try to sue the department?
We're in the process of it all right now, and yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Understood. Wow. Tell us about the experience. Did you go through any traumatic PTSD? Are you PTSD now? I would be. I would be like still shaking for at least a month. After being held at gunpoint by officers who are supposed to be running this country.
Right, or protecting us.
Protecting us.
Yeah, so it was a little traumatic when I was in America because I would see different cars drive by and I would know that somebody's watching me. So every time I'd leave the house, I'd know that I was either being watched or followed. And I had to have somebody full-time with me at the entire time, like when I would go home, when I would leave my home, etc. And he would pull around the car to the back of the building. I would hop in the back seat, crouch down, boom, drive away like this. And it was like crazy, you know, like my friends, my family members, they had police officers show up to their doorstep asking for me, investigating me basically. Seeing if I was a part of like some sort of immigration case or some sort of anti-governmental group. And personally, like I'm not a part of any of that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not immigrating anybody into America illegally. I'm not doing any sorts of stuff like this. But yeah, then they kind of just make presumptions, ask all these people all sorts of questions. And, you know, I mean, I'm not harming people, like I said. So what are people going to say at the end of the day?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I just decided, hey, look, it's probably better that instead of me staying in the chaos, right now I just take a break. We let everything cool down. We settle the matter in court or legally, you know, hear any response from a prosecuting attorney, what's being said, what's being allegated against me, and then we can go from there.
Have they said what are the allegations against you?
Right now, no.
No, okay.
No, I don't have any charges.
Nothing.
No, it's just every time I go back in America across the border, I do get stopped by Customs Border Patrol, and then I'm uncomfortably strip searched in the airport every single time. All my belongings are, you know, thrown out, and all my phones are taken every time I cross the border.
But they give it back to you?
No.
They just take your phones, and they're like, oh, hey, you're free to go, but they take your phones?
Yeah, I was left with no phone. And I was able to make a phone call using their phone in order to get like an Uber booked for me.
Wow. Wow. I'm just lost for words right now. I don't even know how to contain my emotions.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like we go through all these trials and tribulations, and you're only given what you can handle. God puts his strongest angels through hell to get to heaven. And I think I was put through this situation in order to be example for other people, to stand up for their rights, to go out there, face their trials and tribulations. Not that I'm running away or I'm hiding from my problems. It's more so I don't want to be tortured through chaos and affiliated with something that I'm not even affiliated with because of other people's opinions or other people's desire in order to make some sort of example of me. My job is, hey, look, like you can be, do, or have anything that you desire. And I've been preaching this since I've been mentored by Bob Proctor. And he always told you can manifest anything. I believe that I'm truly the sole purpose as per why this happened to me. It was a sign or something, a message from God in order to slow down before I could speed back up. You know, I don't know what the exact purpose was of what happened, but I know that there is a divine connection to why this is happening. It's something spiritual. It's something that had to happen. Sometimes you have to take 10 steps backwards in order to take 100 steps forwards. And that might be what it is.
You mentioned about escaping the matrix.
Yeah.
What is, in your opinion, the matrix?
Well, the matrix is the media, the control of all of the people that right now are dictating everything that we do, hear, say, see, wear, drink, eat, smell. And if you look at the specifics of what we're talking about in those subjects, very few families control all of it. They control all the media, they control all the movies, they control all of the TV series, they control Netflix, they control where all the foods and crops are grown, how they're grown, where these different animals are breeded. They own most of the land that they're breeded on. And it goes down to the T. It goes down all the way to the T. And it's past the normal person's consciousness or the awareness level of them even being conscious of, hey, you know, where is this meal that I'm eating out at this restaurant being come from, right? Where is the cow that I'm eating? Where is this crop? Maybe I'm eating a salad, okay, oh, it's a healthy option. But these crops are also sprayed with all the same pesticides that are injected into the meat. So it's like, we have to be very, very cautious about what we're eating, what we're putting into our body in all aspects, whether it's our food, our shower, down to the water that we're showering with. Most of the water is what causes male hair loss. It's what causes low testosterone. Even the clothes that we wear on our body, we're wearing polyester, right? You wear polyester. Polyester vibrates at negative 15 megahertz. You're vibrating at 100 megahertz. So if you're wearing something that's vibrating less than you, it's obviously going to affect your chemical imbalance, your hormone levels, and it can cause disease and illness. So we don't even know, like, what is the factors that are controlling everything that we do, what we think about, what our results in our life are. You know what I mean? Like, it goes down to all of these different chemicals and all these different compounds that are being controlled by our government, right?
Wow.
So that's escaping the matrix, is really being conscious, really being aware of all these different, you know, health, wealth, happiness, peace, what we're ingesting, what we're putting in our body on all levels. What we listen to. Be careful when the TV's on, you know what I mean? Because they want you to be engulfed into whatever their message is in that moment. CNN, constant negative news, right? By people that work at JOB, just over broke. How can you ever be wealthy if you're still trading your time for money? Working for somebody else that doesn't do anything, you've never met them before, but you're making them rich. And that's the matrix.
And how do you think, did you escape it? Would you say you're an escapant of the matrix?
I mean, so look, I don't like to ever really talk. I talk in past tense to manifest, because the way to bring your future into your present is to talk about it as if it's in the past. But I don't like to say, hey, I've escaped the matrix, because it's a continuous thing. Isn't the matrix continuously trying to trap you? So regardless of how far you get, maybe you'll go somewhere, you'll do something, you'll do this, you'll do that, and then boom, the matrix will come back, right? So I've been escaping the matrix for years. But do you ever fully escape? And that's the real question. Like, when you have your own farm, when you don't care about materialistic things, right? When we stop having any sort of consciousness to the external world, where we have external things dictate our internal world, that's when you really escape the matrix. When you don't need anything from anybody. When you just have your shelter, your homegrown food, your homegrown cattle, that's really escaping the matrix. So if you want my definition of it, have I really escaped the matrix? No, I have a long way to go. I'm a work in progress. I don't talk to people as if I'm perfect. I talk to people as if I'm focused on the goal of making progress.
Wow. So, just curious, circling back to your story about the U.S., it seemed like you were like on track of escaping, and then this whole police thing happened.
Yeah.
Is that how you see it as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was on a very great path in order to help and educate a lot of people, but what I realized is sometimes you have to focus on keeping the private private and keeping the public public. What I do in the public should not be the same thing that I do in the private. What I do for myself shouldn't be the same thing that I do for others. And wanting something for somebody else more than they want it for themselves can also get you into predicaments down the road. So it's like being very cautious about who you share certain information with, what you expose to the general public, what you allow in the public eye. It can really jeopardize your safety if you know too much. They don't want you to know.
They don't want you to know
too much. Okay, so that's something that we have to be very cautious of, and it's a subject where you touch it lightly and you can explain something, but you never want to go too in depth into these things publicly.
Right. It's crazy. Could you ever forgive what happened to you with the police, everything like that? Could
30M.
Sorry?
30M.
30M?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Deposited straight into my account.
30 million was deposited into your account?
No, if they deposit 30 million into my account, I would have some sort of remorse, right? I would no longer feel the way that I do.
Why 30 million?
I think it's a fair number for the emotional damages and all the stress it's caused me. Like if I said 3, I'd be lying, because I could make that in a month if I really wanted to, right? Like, it's like, hey, like I couldn't say, hey, look, 3 million, and I'm like really honestly, like for me to really forgive everybody, for this mistake.
Did they acknowledge it was a mistake?
Nah.
Did they say we messed up?
No, they actually wrote a letter responding to them to people's comments, saying that it was a mistake, saying that it wasn't a mistake. Okay. Oh man. So they actually try to play it off, made me seem like I'm the bad guy, and I genuinely feel that I'm not the bad guy, and I genuinely feel that I have other people that know that I'm not the bad guy in this specific situation.
Right. And you never dealt in anything illegal, like drugs or any of the stuff that people tend to associate with.
So I have a marijuana company in America.
Oh, you have a marijuana company?
But it's 100% legal.
Okay.
Okay.
Which state?
Yeah, it's shipped in 49 states.
Okay.
It's a virtual dispensary business. And it's all 100% legal. We follow the law.
And it's still ongoing, or you closed it down?
It's ongoing right now.
Okay, it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
Cool. So you sell pot?
I legally
sell pot. Yeah. What I mean is.
Yeah.
Okay. And they didn't use that against you, or they did?
No.
Okay. Good.
No, they didn't use that against me. I mean, I don't have any charges. At this moment, there's nothing to charge me with.
Yeah.
So I'm not a criminal, okay?
Yeah.
They're just doing a further federal investigation on my life in order to try and find something that they can pin on me, because remember, I have to look like the bad guy. What a great example to make me the bad guy. But I'll just keep doing good, you know what I mean? Like, what can you do? You can keep giving good to the world and hope that everything does surface in the end. The truth will always prevail.
You came to Dubai a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You, why did you decide Dubai out of any other country?
Well, I was already set up. It was very easy for me here rather than going somewhere unknown. I already have contacts, friends, investments, etc. You know what I mean? Here, so I just felt very comfortable coming here. I also think that Dubai is very supportive of individuals that are entrepreneurs and investors. So they support these types of people as long as you're following the rules and not screwing people over. They support that. Where in America, it's less supported. I think it's more so frowned upon to be somebody that's in a decentralized space, or hey, maybe you're going to be watched and tracked, or they don't want you to make any money without them getting 45 to 60% of it, right? So it's pretty crazy right now, especially during these times, with the election happening, with what's happening with the presidency, and with what's happening to the world. It's really interesting times to see what's going on. And if you look at it, I'm not the only person that this type of stuff is happening to. If it can happen to Trump, it can happen to anyone. And that's why it's just dangerous. It's just dangerous to be known. And that's why I love that philosophy that we spoke about earlier. Own nothing, but control everything.
Right.
So I sold everything. I sold everything that I owned.
In the US?
Yeah.
Can you give an approximate figure how much that was worth?
No.
I love that. but it gave you the sense of freedom to now feel free.
Attached to nothing, but connected to everything. Everything I lose, I always find if I lose it forever, I get 10 times better. So can I have the newest Maybach and feel better in the back seat? Yeah. Does it make me feel better than driving this Chinese rental car? Yeah. But when you have things, it ties you down to a place.
It does.
And I was listening to a podcast actually from the owner of Telegram.
Yes, Pavel Durov.
Yeah, he had $500 million in his bank account before he started Telegram. And he says that he doesn't own anything. He doesn't own property. He doesn't own cars. He doesn't own anything because he doesn't want to be tied down to a place. He wants to spend all of his thoughts and energy on expansion and growing the development of his baby. And I love that idea. You know what I mean? So there's things that I'm learning every single day. There's things that I'm changing about myself. I bought, a bunch of stupid shit when I was 20, 21 making money, right? So I just went buy Lamborghinis, buy stupid things just because you think that you have to impress all these people. But who do we have to impress? Nobody really cares at the end of the day.
Question. So you've had this luxury lifestyle for some time now.
Okay.
How did you enter this luxury? There must have been a start.
Yeah.
How did you enter it? I'm curious to know your journey.
I went through a breakup in 2016. Okay, I think I was 16 years old probably. In 2016, I went through a breakup. It was a very hard breakup, whatever. I was either gonna move to California or move to Miami. Okay, I'm from a very small town. My mom calls it Port Child, but it's really pronounced Port Charlotte, okay?
Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte, all right? Small town in Florida, #1 place to retire in all of America. All old people and crack addicts, okay? There's nobody that makes it from Port Charlotte, okay? So I knew I had to move out of there. Went through this breakup, moved out of Port Charlotte, moved to Miami, and then I met a mentor. And I think mentorship is what really made everything real for me, okay? So I've met many mentors along my journey. First mentor helped me get to $10,000 a month. Then I met another mentor who was making $1 million a month. And when I met him, my entire life changed. He taught me how to believe. He taught me the formula to success. And he broke it down in a simplistic way for anybody to become successful by just knowing the formula. And I followed him. I listened to his audiobooks and his books to sleep every night. And I just drained myself in personal self-development.
Interesting. And did you have to invest anything in terms of money to
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I invested money, I invested time, I invested energy, I invested everything.
What did you invest in at the time?
I had to start in that business, it was $200. But I was broke, so I think I sold my Xbox in order to pay the $200. I made $350 to sell my Xbox and my TV. And I didn't want to have those things because they were distractions. Right. And I was learning about all this personal self-development stuff.
Right.
But you're 19 years old, right? And you don't know better at the time. So it's I'm hearing everybody say personal self-development, television is watching other people tell your vision, all these little different quotes and things that they were saying and phrases. And I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna sell my Xbox and my TV. So I sell it, I buy a bunch of books, I pay for my membership, and I just start, and I go to every event. Every time this guy was speaking, it doesn't matter, it was 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive, 8-hour drive, 10-hour flight, 6-hour flight, 3-hour flight, whatever it was, I would travel, I would go there, I would go to every event, I would just surround myself with the people, and they say that you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with most. And as I started to be around the people, the way that they walked, talked, acted, felt, way that they thought, it started to rub off on me. And I started to change.
Interesting. And you didn't start your music career back then, did you?
No, I always wanted to be a musician, and I always had a love for music, but I had a goal that I set prior to me wanting to release music. So I hit that goal back in 2022, and that's when I released my first song.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
But back in when you were 19 years old, was there any breakthrough moment where at 19 or 20 that you made a jump, a leap?
Yeah.
What was that moment like, and where was it? What setting were you in?
So I was in college, and I moved to Miami because I got a scholarship to go to college.
Oh, good.
That's how I could afford to even go.
Wow.
Right? They gave me like a little scholarship, pays for my class. I never went to class, by the way. But
You know what
it looked good for my mom. You know, I had to tell my mom something. I was like,
Of course.
You know, I was, hey, mom, I'm in college. Send me $300 for food. You know what I mean? Like, help. Because I was broke as a joke at the time. You know what I mean? I didn't have anything going for me. But eventually, like after, you know, going to the college was cool because it got me access to having rooms, and I would throw events.
Okay.
So I would grab a classroom after all the classes were over, and I would host an event in the room. And then we would have like little things where we would invite a bunch of people into this classroom. We had the classroom so packed that there was no room to fit more people. People were standing in a line outside the door to come into my event. And it was crazy. We had like 17-year-olds coming to speak at my events. Like, this kid's making 10 grand a month. He's 17 years old.
Really?
It was awesome. It was a great time.
So it wasn't like a party, or was it like a party?
No parties. No, it was networking events.
Okay.
Like crypto, Forex stuff, education, and it was all to join our membership platform. It felt like a party, but it wasn't a party. There was no alcohol, there was no drugs. It was strictly business.
Strictly business.
And everybody that would come to the second event, they had to pay, okay? They had to pay in order to get it, right? They had to have an active membership. You don't come twice without having the active membership in the platform. So yeah, there was the breakthrough moment when I had to decide to really drop out of college. And that's when the scholarship money would stop coming in. And I had to go all in and sacrifice everything in order to really make it in entrepreneurship. And at the time I was making anywhere from 2 to 5 grand a month. So I was on that like little point where I could just survive. And if I went all in, I knew I could get to that next level. And that's what I did. I just dropped out of school, texted my mom like, hey.
Did you join a 9-to-5 ever when you dropped out?
Yeah, so when I was 17, I had a 9-to-5.
But where did you work?
I worked at LA Fitness.
LA Fitness. Cool.
Yeah.
So you worked in the gym?
Worked in a gym.
What were you doing?
I used to be a bodybuilder.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I was like 5% body fat. And
you were?
I won a show, and it looked cool, and you know, I thought I was gonna build a crazy personal training business around it. But then LA Fitness like controls everything. They dictate how much you charge and all this stuff. So
you were a personal trainer back then?
I was at like 17. Yeah.
You have photos of you being on 5% fat? You can show me later. You can send it to me, actually. So you worked a 9-to-5 at back then, and then what happened after?
That's when that breakup situation happened, and then I just kind of like got that scholarship, and then I'm like, okay, no more work. I'm gonna focus on college. And then that's when I met mentors, and then got involved in that membership program to join that Forex crypto business for education. And everything just started to just build like a snowball.
Was crypto the main? Would you say the main cornerstone to making money?
No. Time, people, and then right opportunity. Because I've been involved in crypto since 2016, and yeah, I bought Bitcoin at a young age, but also I sold Bitcoin, and I bought Bitcoin, and I sold Bitcoin, and you know, it was like this whole little thing. But I've been able to sustain and continue based on opportunities, identifying these opportunities, getting in these opportunities with the right people, and then obviously being in them at the right time. Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Really, like curious to know as well. Were your parents ever involved in your life? Were they always from a distance? How close were you? So
yeah, my parents are. I lived with my stepfather and my mother, and we had a love-hate relationship. You know, I loved them, they hated me.
It's normal.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And you know, they were teachers.
Oh, they were both teachers?
Both teachers.
Oh, good.
So very, very
disciplined, but also strict.
By the book.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I moved out at 17.
Oh, you moved out of the house?
Yeah, at 17.
Damn. But did you ever struggle with rent?
Yeah.
When you moved out, how did you move out in the first place? Did you have a game plan in mind?
Yeah, I had a game plan, and I got by. You know what I mean? It's like that whatever it takes mentality. You know what I mean? Like when you don't have enough money, something happens in order for you to just. I would like sell T-shirts on Poshmark or like whatever I had to do in that moment. From like that 17-year-old me in order to just get by, in order to make sure that I don't go back.
And you were paying rent off of doing that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was.
Wow.
I would sell shit on eBay. I would sell, like, this was before e-commerce was like a thing, you know what I mean? This is like almost a decade ago.
Right,
okay,
right.
This is like 9 years ago.
Right.
So e-com wasn't like a big thing then. There was no Amazon stores, eBay stores, So I would just sell shit on eBay. And I would make enough money in order to just like get by. I mean, my rent wasn't crazy expensive at the time. And then when I moved to Miami, I had that scholarship, and it just got me by. I think it was like $2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month.
It was an Italian scholarship. So I applied to this Italian scholarship for kids to go to college, and they gave me $2,000 a month.
Oh, good. When you dropped out of college, they stopped giving you that.
Yeah.
And how did you manage that? Because it was
at that time I was already making enough money through entrepreneurship, in that little thing that I was doing with the education, the Forex, the crypto. So we had a membership, and if you had 500 people underneath you, you made $10,000 a month.
Oh, I see. Because everyone was paying monthly.
Yep, they would make a monthly subscription.
In order to go to the networking events?
Networking events, they would get access to a dashboard. They would have full education and tutorials on how to learn how to trade, how to invest in crypto, what cryptos are coming out. They would have one-on-one live calls with different mentors and stuff like this.
Interesting. So did you start a company, or did you just have like a...
No, I joined a company.
You joined a company? Okay. So that company was helping with the whole mentorship, education, things like this?
Yep.
And that helped you also make some money?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I made like $300,000 in that company, decided to leave back in 2021. Then they hit me with a $2.5 million lawsuit.
For what?
I paid $450,000 for attorneys. I won the lawsuit. And that's when I made my first $1 million.
How? You had me at hello. Why did they sue you? What for?
They thought that I was trying to bring my people from their company to the new company.
Oh, I see.
And they said that that's illegal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair thing to do. If you build contacts and you're starting something of your own, it's a logical thing that I would imagine someone would do. Of course. And then of course they're not going to take it lightly. They're going to want to try and take money out of you. And so they obviously sued you for that.
They tried.
They lost. And then from that lawsuit, what did they pay? What was the? They tried
to sue me for $2.5 million. No, it was the settlement was. Everybody walks away. They spent like $700,000 on attorneys. I spent $380,000, which was like just as much or a little bit more than what I had made in their company. So it was like, you know what I mean? But it made me so mad. And it was such a like catapulting catastrophe.
Yeah.
Where I was like so low, but so eager to like change my life. Because I was sick of making $10,000 a month. I knew I was destined for more. I knew I could make more. I knew there was another pillar, another layer, another level. And I knew that wasn't going to be the thing that got me there. So boom, I pivoted, went over here, got involved, and I made like $2 million in less than 6 months. That
$2 million, did it come from, where did it come from?
Yeah, so we built a network. We signed up 10,000 people. We had the first ever 24 karat gold crypto debit card that gave you 5% cash back when you swiped it. We had a health product. It was a chocolate bar and an acai berry energy drink. You would take one as a prebiotic, one was a probiotic. So you take the prebiotic, the probiotic, the acai berry energy drink. We had the sugar-free and with the sugar. It was the best thing in the world. I miss it so much, honestly. The company went out of business 6 months in. So after I made the $2 million, boom, company evaporated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like one moment to then. I was making $100,000 a week at 21 years old.
From signing people up to the program?
From getting people involved, and then also they had their own token attached to the debit card. I got in the token at 3 cents. As 10,000 people joined, the token went up to 97 cents. It was a good little run.
Interesting.
We did very well in that platform. And then from one day to the next, it was just like 100K a week, None.
None, right?
And I was thinking, I mean, I'm 22 years old, so what do you expect a 22-year-old? I was over here buying Rolexes, $50,000 chains. I was taking the whole team on private jet flights, renting a whole jet. Okay?
How much is a jet?
It depends on where you go.
Oh.
But if you go to, let's say, North Carolina from Florida, it's like
18,000.
Okay.
Dollars.
Yeah. So I mean, I was just going on jets, like Florida, New York, Florida, or like sometimes I'd get it one way or whatever, you know what I mean? And then we'd all fly back either like business class or whatever. But yeah, man, I had a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Bought a brand new Bentley convertible, V12, you know what I'm saying? Like, GTC, Bentley Continental. It was my dream car. I wanted it so bad. When I had $1 million sitting in an account, I called my mentor. I'm like, hey, can I go buy a Bentley? He said, yeah, go buy it cash. So I went. I was 22 years old. I'm balling. I'm like, all right, I'll go to the Bentley dealership. I pull up in a rental car, okay? And I'm like, yeah, I want the Bentley. He's like, what do you mean you want the Bentley? I'm like, I want the Bentley. I'm gonna buy it cash. He's like, what do you mean you're gonna buy it cash? I'm like,
did you like buy it in cash bags or did you pay?
I'm like, look, will you take crypto? And he's like, yeah, I'll take crypto.
My God.
And he sent on the crypto. He gave me the car. And he took it.
He took it.
And he killed it in ETH.
He took the crypto.
That. Yeah, he took the ETH.
Shit.
And he killed it in ETH after that. That ETH is probably worth 3 Bentleys now. He probably held that ETH and just went.
Damn.
But I got him into crypto from him taking the crypto for that.
Yeah. No, you did him a favor. You did him a solid.
I did.
Sorry, going back to that membership thing. Did it sound? It sounds like an MLM.
It was.
It was an MLM.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best ways to make money.
As a beginner.
Yeah. MLMs are the best.
I love MLM.
I love MLMs.
You would never ever get the personal development or the access to real life people that are multimillionaires without it.
Yeah.
Like, what real estate entrepreneur is gonna actually come and hold your hand on the way to success? Like, you get all these things on Instagram, Facebook, social media, and they're like, oh yeah, here, we're gonna mentor you, click the link, and then you get pushed to this freaking call with a sales associate that gives you a $7,000 funnel.
Exactly.
And in MLM, like, you can go directly to either, I go to I know all the owners. I know a lot of MLM owners. I'm in the MLM mafia. Okay, so I'm balls deep. But I'm not an MLM guy, okay, anymore. But I help MLM guys pick the right deal and get them the best deal possible. And that's what I've done over the past couple of years. And
I've seen what an MLM is. You go through these long ass calls, and nothing wrong with that. If it works, it sells, and it's all psychological.
Yeah,
it's all like, this is what you need to do, and they focus on all the psychological benefits you'll get out of this.
Well, success is 90% psychological.
True.
But you need all 100%, okay? You can't just have a super fire mindset, bulletproof mindset, and you do nothing, okay?
Yeah.
Just, most of the time doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't work for everybody.
No, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like.
And it really teaches you sales skills. How to sell.
We never say that word, so we always say share.
Yeah.
We never say sell, because I would never want you to buy into my MLM.
Yeah.
If I was in an MLM right now, and I would say, hey, look, I would share it with you. But I do not care whether you do it or not, because MLM is a numbers game. It's like, hey, talk to more people, make more money.
Yeah.
And that's how they teach it. It's like, hey, you don't ever want to close somebody, because when you close them, the deal's done. You want to open them, and like, that's how they.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's because you want them to do something after they sign up.
Yeah,
like,
and then you get a cut every time.
Right.
Every time they
you help somebody get to a certain level of income, you get a bonus from helping them get
exactly. No, time and time again, we've had other MLM specialists that come on the podcast, and they've said this, like, that's exiting the matrix. One way to it works.
You're still also helping somebody else get wealthy.
Yeah,
you're still also building somebody else's platform for a certain percentage of it.
Yeah.
You're not the owner. You're still trading your time for money.
You are.
But you can get to a point. You can get to a point where you have a team.
Yeah.
And it generates itself and it grows.
Because what's better, working a 9-to-5 job and selling your soul for peanuts?
Right.
Right. So it's no wonder MLMs have emerged. Yes, it's a pyramid scheme. We get it. But what's the alternative?
It's like a Christmas tree, and all the presents are at the bottom.
At the bottom. But what can you not like? Are you surprised that this came about? No. 9-to-5s make people boring, and
Right.
and it doesn't give you financial freedom.
Yeah.
MLMs give you financial freedom.
They do.
Yes, it's a pyramid scheme, but what else, what do you expect me to do? We're living in this constant rat race to
You're getting
life.
pyramid either way. So like, let's say you're in the education system and you're a teacher. Well, isn't there a superintendent that has an assistant superintendent that has 4 directors and then 4 this and then 8 janitors and then 90 other employees? It's the same pyramid structure. Look at a principal of a high school, assistant principal.
There's a hierarchy in everything.
It'll never end, and regardless of whether you say an MLM is a pyramid and life is a pyramid, everything will pyramid you. You're either going to get at the top of the pyramid and you're going to start the pyramid and you're going to build the pyramid all the way down, or you're going to be a part of somebody else's pyramid. Welcome to life. Welcome to the real world.
That is very, very accurate, and just unfortunate that is the life we live in.
Yeah.
And this leads me to my next question, because you're going to hit 30s, you're going to hit 35, 40. Do you envision yourself bringing a child into this world? Given what you know?
Absolutely.
You know more than probably most people do. Like how it's better not to know, or better to keep quiet. You know, you probably know lots of stuff. Is it still worth it to bring a child into this world?
Of course it is.
Why?
Because I think the meaning in life is to procreate. I think your legacy, you'll be forgotten if you don't continue. And you have very few ways to continue, unless you have like a hyperbolic time chamber and you're gonna like freeze your body and do this whole thing in order to like live for a lot longer. And I'm not saying that they're not creating science and technology to be able to do so. I believe that they are. Maybe you can get like a chip and just download your brain into artificial intelligence and become a cyborg. We don't know what's gonna happen with the future and how things are rapidly evolving. I'm sure they have crazy technology for us to be able to live a lot longer than what they publicize to the general public, but you know, why not?
I mean, inflation is through the roof, money printing isn't stopping. Governments are soon going to be able to control all crypto. Just buy it, you know, open source, just buy it. And then eventually they'll be able to sell it and then crash the market as and when they please, as if they already do that right now.
I don't think they've ever not.
So then when you bring a child into this world, it's like I'm knowingly knowing that this child is going to live in a pyramid scheme or is going to live by control and in the matrix.
Well, I think that, like we were talking about, there are people that are creating solutions for that. There are societies that are creating solutions for that. There are the very few that are left. That's why people like us need to come together. This is the specific reason as per why the right people need to come together, and they need to structure something in order to actually build something legitimate that's not going to be overtaken by government, that's not going to be completely regulated, it's not going to be able to be seizable. Like, I mean, I raised $43 million for a hedge fund, and this was 2 years ago, okay? So this is how I did my whole retirement thing, and I was crushing it. And it was decentralized. We had St. Vincent, St. Grenadines accounts, and the problem was we had too many American clients, and the SEC and the CFTC came in and seized all the funds.
They seized all 43 million?
They seized about a half a B.
Really?
Yeah, and you can look it up on Google.
Why exactly?
They say it's a Ponzi scheme. They say it's wire and tax evasion, money laundering, bank fraud, they say all sorts of stuff. I have no idea. I wasn't the owner of the platform. I was affected. I lost $6.5 million US from it, from all the funds being seized. And yeah, I haven't done anything since then. So now my goal is to build a legitimate hedge fund with a bank that has an insurance policy on people's money up to $1 million. And that's what we're working on right now.
And here's one of the caveats to this, is that if you try to challenge the matrix, you know the consequences already. They're not
So
going to
it's
be
like,
good
hey,
for you.
instead of trying to escape the matrix, like, why don't we work with it? Why don't we work with the matrix?
I mean, I was in agreement with that regarding the pyramid scheme, because escape. You're still in the matrix, but you're doing things not exactly illegally.
You're finding the loophole.
Yeah, the loophole.
In order to create a legal way to do something. That's not wrong. It's not wrong because people are blatantly understanding of the fact of what they're getting into, and the average person that starts at the bottom can actually get and make their way to the top.
Yeah.
I did it. If I can be broke as a joke, college dropout, and go from nothing to over $100,000 a week in network marketing and multi-level marketing, MLM, whatever you want to call it, anybody can. I'm not smarter, better, stronger.
But would you want,
nothing.
here's the question though, you ready? Would you want others to be able to make that success?
He wasn't making it, probably hating already in the back of your mind. And that sucks for you, okay? I don't really care if you want to make that money, if you don't want to make that money.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to achieve their goals and dreams. Because that's what my whole thing, my philosophy is, hey, dreams to reality. How do we make the dream come true? What's your dream? Okay, let's make it real.
Except the Matrix architect.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh man, God. Okay, wow. Oh wow. We're gonna wrap up, but I want to circle back to now you're here, right? You've been here how long exactly?
7 weeks.
7 weeks in Dubai. What are your goals for the foreseeable future? What do you want to achieve here?
Yeah. Own nothing, control everything.
So like no house, no car, not own a single thing.
No.
But so you're just gonna rent.
Something like that.
Okay. Interesting. So you're gonna rent all your life.
Like I said, something
Like that. But give us some details if you can.
But yeah, I mean, I learned a little bit of information from a very, very wealthy family, and they just taught me a philosophy that deals with trusts.
Right.
Trust infrastructures.
Trust infrastructures.
So I've been fortunate enough in order to find the right guidance and help from attorneys, accountants, and licensed professionals that really do this at the highest level for very wealthy families. And they've been able to help me set up my structure in order for me to not own anything anymore.
That's amazing. So the fact that you don't own anything means nobody can come after you over your stuff. And they can't come after the trust fund either, can they?
Trust, yeah, so trusts have different laws than an individual. Trust law is a very, very lengthy learning process, and I don't want to go too in depth for people here and in the public. But yeah, you can go and you can research trust law and why you would want to have assets into a trust, because it separates your liability. Meaning if something did happen to you, or if you were liable for something, the responsible party isn't you, because it's a separate entity that's created in formation in order to protect you. And that's why these different families had this structure and kept it mostly secret. And that's why the average ordinary people think that a millionaire needs a trust. And I know that millionaires need a trust. I believe that if you don't have a trust and you're a millionaire, you're not even a millionaire. Okay? But the average person needs a trust just as much as a millionaire needs a trust. And the reason why is because, like, hey, you go own this car, you crash into somebody, it's $1 million liability accident, and somebody tries to sue you, and you're the owner of the car. You're responsible. You're now going to be in debt. If they get a default judgment on you, or some sort of judgment on you, you'll be in debt for that remainder of that portion of whatever it is, or your insurance will be in debt to that, etc. Now, if your trust was responsible for the ownership of that automobile, you would no longer be the liable party. For example, if you rented from your trust the automobile, and then you got in the accident, it would fall into trust law. It'd be very different than as if it's a person.
Interesting. So if it's the person, they seize the person's assets. If it's from trust law, but wouldn't it apply to the trust assets of you? Or
so think about it. The trust wouldn't be the owner of the asset, but the trust would own an entity which would own that asset.
Yeah.
So now that entity could be responsible, but that entity could go bankrupt, or that entity could dissolve, or that entity. What do the banks do? What do the major corporations do? What do the multi-billion-dollar corporations do? How did they get away with all of the fraudulent activity that they're blatantly doing in front of our faces every single day? Now we're on to something. Now you're on to a next topic, and we'll see you guys at the top. From the top, it's way too crowded at the motherfucking bottom. Like, we don't want to get too deep into this stuff, but this is what you have to ask yourself. It's like, what do they do? How do they get away with it?
So we should all have trust.
Duh.
They don't teach this at school.
They can't, because who created the school system? Brother.
Oh my God. This is a podcast on getting woke.
We don't want to say too much.
You don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Do your research, DYOR, HODL, hold on for dear life, and
No, but this is a great cliffhanger to close on, because we talk about financial freedom all the time. Do this, work hard, blah blah blah. But work smart and also find loopholes, because if you're not working on a loophole, you're really losing out.
I hate that word, because it's like, hey, I feel like the feds are gonna knock down your door right now when you say that word. Okay.
Loophole?
Yeah, very scary to say this word. We need to have like a separate word.
I'm sorry. No, you must have so much trauma.
Yeah. Like, it's like, hey, how can we say this in a way in order for it to be like very safe? Okay?
Yeah.
Privacy protection, right? Like, we need trust, right? Like, just separation from the liability. I don't know. We could say it in any other way, but how we perceive things and how we share things also makes them the way they are. They say life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if we say loophole, it looks like we're trying to bend some sort of rule. When we're not. We're literally trying to go with the rules, stay compliant, in the way where they made it to where, like, if you look at the IRS code, for example, which is like the tax code in America.
Yeah.
There's like 700 pages about how to avoid taxes, how to offset your taxes. Tax evasion is illegal, but tax avoidance is not. Meaning if you have certain expenditures, if your trust has contributions to this entity, there's several different ways in order to structure it to where you can offset your liability for all personal income tax.
Interesting.
But nobody reads the tax code. So the next thing that you should do if you're in America and you're watching this is ask your accountant, have they read the IRS's tax manual? And if they haven't, either go read it or find somebody who has. It's like, why would you hire somebody who's never read the tax code in order to do your taxes? You freaking idiot.
They're not qualified.
Exactly. But it's not a loophole. It's staying compliant with the rules that they've set. We're following the rules, and we're just using the rules and the regulations that they set up for everyone. The people that created this must have some sort of way that they do it.
Right.
If they have the money printer and they press a button and they can print as much as they want, there's got to be a way for us to be able to do the same thing.
People watching this must be wondering as well, how did you amass 4 million followers? What's your story behind that?
Spoke at a lot of events. I've been on the news a couple times.
We talked about
Did
that.
a couple TV shows, and it's been a growing journey of ups and downs. I'm sure a lot of people have unfollowed me over the years. And
do you want to talk about how one of your accounts situation happened?
I had another Instagram account. We had a couple more million followers on it, and
This is back when?
group. This is back 8 months ago. Last time I was in Dubai. I was in Dubai back
literally
in December.
8 months ago.
Yeah.
So before this account, you had another account.
I did. I had this hacker group that targeted me. And they had 90% of Instagram's followers following them. They had this way where you could scrape Instagram's followers and make Instagram's followers follow you.
Really?
Yeah, they had it was pretty cool. And
they can make you make those accounts follow you.
Yeah.
But isn't that bots or is that real?
No, they could scrape real accounts from real IP addresses and they could control the accounts.
That's called hacking.
Yeah, it was a hacker group. I was not affiliated with them. They targeted me. Okay.
Okay.
For anybody watching, right?
Why do they target you?
I might have Instagram tatted on my right arm. I've been in the community.
You have Instagram tatted on your right arm?
I do.
Show me. Whoa! Attached to nothing, connected to everything.
All right.
Damn.
Yeah. So I've been in the social media space for a while, and they just targeted me. Basically, got some money off of me.
They hacked you. They hacked your account.
It was like blackmail. It was a lot of other things.
So first they got it into your account, and then
no,
they said,
they didn't get into my account.
"Oh, what did they do?"
They took the account down with a Facebook employee.
With a Facebook employee. They shut it down.
Yep.
So you couldn't log in.
Oh, it's still there, so you can see it. but it says deactivated. And when you click reactivate and you do like the facial recognition and you do the two-step verification code and everything, it just says this service is temporarily unavailable for your account.
Oh my God.
And it says, hey, your account's permanently disabled and you're not getting this account back.
It's still the case.
Yeah.
So then how did you react?
I said I'll never let something like this ever happen to me again, and I now own probably around 500 Instagram accounts.
You do?
Yep. And I have between 40 to 50 million followers between the 500 Instagram accounts.
Okay. How?
They're faceless Instagram accounts.
They're faceless.
Yeah.
There are no faces on them.
No.
Okay.
They just have engaging, interacting meme content that promote all of my different entities that my trust own.
Interesting. So when you bought this gave you security, because that way,
if I lost an account right now, for example, the account that we met on, I'd still have 46 million followers on the others. So
you could just switch.
The differentiation, for example, of the loss compared to me having the one Instagram account with 8 million followers to now being diversified between 50 million, between 500 different accounts, the loss is a lot less. So if you lose one with 8 million, you're kind of stuck with all your eggs in that basket.
True.
Where now I have a diversification portfolio of intellectual property of all these different accounts. And I have all the people that are watching all these different accounts, and I can control what these people are seeing on all these different accounts.
Interesting. Can you control what's also being posted on all of these?
Yeah, they're my accounts.
They're your accounts. But wouldn't you have to manually post on each one, or you just hit one click?
I have my Indonesian guys.
Hey, love it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So at least you're sort of insured now.
I spend a bag on social media, but it spends a bag back on me.
Interesting. I think, again, this advice everyone should have, because anyone can be taken down.
Dude, watch out. Hide your gram and hide your book, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Just to finish off, do you think social media is toxic? Do you think we should just get off of it?
If you follow the right accounts, it could be the most beneficial thing for your life. Like, you can follow Detox, you can follow people like Terrence Howard. You can follow people like Billy Carson. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are woke and they know and how to escape the matrix, right? That's what he does. I haven't studied him to the point that I've studied Bob Proctor. I've more so studied like law of attraction, manifestation. But what I do know about Andrew Tate, he's making a positive impact on the general population. So I like what he's doing.
Interesting.
Is he hated for that? Absolutely.
Yeah, he is.
But what do you expect? Look at Trump, look at Tate, look at me, right? Like, look at what's happened to us. You know what I mean? So,
would you ever close down social media? Would you ever get off of it?
Like, I would take a break from social media, but I would still continue to keep my accounts going, because it's powerful. People don't recognize how powerful social media is. It dictates what we think. They say thoughts, words, images, emotions, environment. These all control your results, right? So what do we think about? Well, you open Instagram probably around 500 to 1,000 times a day, subconsciously. It controls our life. It controls your thoughts. It controls the words that you think. It controls the words that you speak. It controls the things that you think about. It controls what you're hearing. It's got your 5 senses basically on it besides taste.
So based on what you just said there, you don't think we should all get off of it?
I think the most powerful people in the world have the influence over what you're seeing on social media.
Yeah.
So I want you to be controlled by my social media accounts. Why would I promote you?
That's what I want to hear. Let's hear the honest, what you really think.
No, but my social media accounts will literally help you. So follow @learns. That's my account. @learns.
@learns.
My account.
LERNS. Okay.
And you'll learn something.
All right.
It will positively impact your life.
No.
You're not going to sit there and get dumber. You're not going to sit there and think about something that's not going to help your life. It's literally going to change your life in a positive way. And if you continuously do it over a period of time, it'll create a habit, and that habit will actually change your lifestyle. Get yourself in the mentality of watching personal self-development, subscribing to people that actually talk about something that's goals, dreams, progress, getting better, health, wealth, all areas of your life, right? So all areas creates happiness. You know, follow people like Ty Lopez, follow people like, you know, Andrew Tate, even though I don't know if he has Instagram or not.
Yeah.
But you could follow these people, right, that are encouraging, uplifting, motivating, inspiring, and they're doing something, and then you're gonna start doing something. I'm not saying watch what they do all day long, go out, apply the knowledge that they give you, but if you take knowledge and you put application to it, you'll get somewhere.
We're gonna finish off. You're currently retired, is that right? Or what are you?
I just came out of retirement.
You just came out of retirement?
Yeah.
And you coming back, or as in, you going back into work?
I'm gonna start working again.
You're gonna start working again?
Yeah, it's boring to be retired at 26.
It's such a hard life, right?
It's about to be the biggest thing that we've ever done.
What's that?
I have to tell you.
Hey, we got some nice, you got something cooking up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You launching like a company, or what are you planning to do?
It's an ecosystem, let's just say it like that.
Okay.
I'm a part of an ecosystem.
Part of it. Another MLM.
No.
I'm joking.
Not an MLM.
It's
no.
not an MLM. Good, you set that record straight.
Yeah.
What about the rap, the singer career? Is that going to still be on the side, or are you going to
Absolutely. We're going to be full-time.
full-time singing?
Full-time performing, making music, singing, doing shows. It's going to be full-time. I've always wanted to do it. It's been my dream. I'm still going to continue to pursue my dreams. I'm not going to stop my dreams for artists.
Yeah.
Look at Drake. Got OVO, got his brand, got his merch, got his this, got his that, got his luggage, got his bags, got all, you know what I mean? You can do multiple things and be successful at them all. It's just about strategically placing yourself, having strategic partners involved, having investors, having this, having that, and having all your things squared away.
But you would argue you'd still need like a decent amount of capital to begin with, and a decent amount of influence, social media.
Yeah.
Like these people do have. And then now it's like, oh, we want you to be the face. You can be our largest shareholder, and we'll give you a discount.
Yeah.
And we'll promote your face as one of our shareholders.
Yeah.
Because you're you.
Exactly.
You know, it takes capital, but as well as it takes a lot of, in the beginning, exchanging time for fame. Status.
I don't like fame. Fame is wishy-washy, but status. You get invited to cool things. You get special little invitations in the mail. You get little care packages in the mail from different companies. You know what I mean? It's like Christmas every day. You check the mailbox and it's like something new. Status is cool. But fame is overrated. Because you'll be loved and hated. But status, it's respect.
We'll close off on that. So I just want to say, Jay, thank you so much. It's been real.
Yo, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming and you know, bestowing knowledge upon the audience today. I think I learned a lot, and I think the key takeaway for me here today is really staying woke. When you see things online, take it with a pinch of salt always.
Yeah.
And just stay in your lane, really. Just stay in your lane, you know?
Yeah, focus on what you want to do, focus on your dreams, your goals and desires, and they will come true.
They will come true. With that said, guys, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you found this insightful. We'll leave all the links to his social media page. We'll put it in the description. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this insightful. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.